there are so many questions of implementation. बिल्कुल सही बात है. The passing of a bill does not guarantee how it will be implemented. और मैंने शुरू में ही कहा था कि हम सब लोगों के दिमाग में तो बहुत सिनिसिज्म है. कितने सारे कानून हैं, कितने सारे लॉ है, तो कैसे भी उनका उल्लंघन होता है. So I mean, therefore, I do recognize that the feeling that what will happen with this bill, people will find a way to get away from it. Let me also say that cannot prevent us from saying that we need to legislate laws. Just because we feel that they are not effective in many areas cannot be a reason for us to go and say क्या फर्क पड़ता है, जैसा हो वो तो चलने दो, इससे तो कुछ होगा नहीं. I mean, all I can say is that there has to be social pressures to see that many of these things, I mean, I would probably go and say after 70 years, how many, 61 years of independence, there should have been no need for us even to talk about a law. अभी तक तो एजुकेशन यूनिवर्सलाइज और अच्छी क्वालिटी का हो जाना चाहिए था. But the fact that it has not happened itself says that we have deep problems. In the original bill, there was a commission being set, a commission for elementary education, which would monitor this bill. जो आप सवाल पूछ रहे हैं ना कि कैसे इंस्पेक्ट करेंगे, कैसे पता करेंगे, वायलेशन हुआ तो कौन करेंगे. So the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, which has since come up, and which already includes the monitoring of right to education. So instead of setting up another commission, in the 2008 bill, it was decided that let that National Commission be the monitoring agency. But a lot of it is actually delegated to the school management committees, where we're saying 50% will be parents of the children. And now this is a legal body. It's not just a body set up by the school. अगर जिनके बच्चे स्कूल में हैं और उनको ही आप लीगली एम्पावर कर रहे हो, monitoring of all kinds. Now obviously people, the questions remain. ऐसी बॉडी के पेरेंट्स होंगे, वो पेरेंट्स शायद खुद इलिटरेट होंगे, उनको एक टीचर कुछ भी कह के भगा सकता है. That will happen over a period of time. But laws are made for long periods of time. So therefore, for implementation, along with the School Management Committee and the Protection for Child Rights Commission, one hopes that there will be some deterrence, but there will be violations, we all know. But examples would be set. That's all one can say at this point of time. How justiciability? People have asked this question कि कैसे आप क्या punish करेंगे? Of course punish होगा. Law means that people can be punished. If there is a child who is not going to school, that the compulsion is with the state, people can go and take the government to the court. School has to be provided. Time limits are there. Now, the question about unrecognized schools in 3 months, this is a very problematic thing. पहले तो ये है कि the bill outlaws all unrecognized schools. इसमें प्रॉब्लम ये है कि आपने किसी स्कूल ने कहा कि साहब हमको रिकग्निशन दे दीजिए, हमने ये किया है. समय अवधि नहीं दे रहे हैं आप. मानिए 2 साल लग गए आपको ये करने में कि उनको रिकग्निशन देने में. 2 साल तक वो स्कूल बंद रहेगा क्या? वहाँ के बच्चे निकाले जाएंगे क्या? You have to put a time limit, because it is assumed that that school is functioning with some children. Now, if you say that there is no time limit, and then until the state gives it a certificate of recognition, which may take 3 years, but in those 3 years the school may have closed down. There will be no school there. So therefore, this is a lacuna, but these are the lacunas of implementation. I do realize very clearly कि वो जाके अपनी एप्लीकेशन दे देंगे एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट को, साथ में 2000 रुपये देंगे और उससे कहेंगे यार 3 महीने तक कुछ नहीं करना, 3 महीने तक नहीं हो गए तो स्कूल रिकॉग्नाइज हो गया. बिल्कुल हो सकता है. बट दीज आर द काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ मेकिंग लॉज टू सी हाउ इम्प्लीमेंटेबल दे बिकम. सो आई एम नॉट डिफेंडिंग इट, बट ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज आई एम ओनली पोजिंग ए प्रॉब्लम टू यू. अगर आपके सामने ये प्रॉब्लम होगा तो क्या क्या करेंगे आप? बट वॉट इट डज से क्या प्राइवेट स्कूल है या सरकारी स्कूल है, शेड्यूल के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, पीपल टीचर रेशियो, टीचर सैलरी के अकॉर्डिंगली नहीं होगा तो रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं होगा. एंड इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू डू अवे विद दिस काइंड ऑफ टीचिंग शॉप्स. ऑलराइट, बट यू सी a law cannot eliminate bribery from society. If you ask me where the corruption in school system is, it is in teacher transfers. इस देश में एजुकेशन का सबसे बड़ा करप्शन है politicians and bureaucrats making money out of teacher transfers. So what we had said, जैसे दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में अपॉइंट होता है टीचर, then he is not or she is not transferred to Punjab University or Assam University. You are appointed here. But if there is a vacancy there and you want to apply, you can apply and shift. That's what we had done in the bill. And you know who were dead against this? Not the politicians, not the bureaucrats, but teachers. They said, we will never accept that. You cannot stop our transfers. Which means, it is not just transfers, which means that corruption has not been stopped by this bill. Teachers are strong political elements. You will not be able to stop teachers if they say, we will not accept this clause. So we must realize these are not practical, but they're political problems. Someone raised the question, and it's a very interesting question. Does it violate the right to freedom to not have my child in school? Someone from there raised that question. It does. And what do we do about that? Under this legislation now, a parent doesn't have a choice not to send this child to the school. कि मैं अपने बच्चे को स्कूल में नहीं पढ़ाना चाहता हूँ, मैं अपने घर में पढ़ाना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन सरकार कह रही है कि इसको मैं छीन के स्कूल में डाल दूंगा. ये लॉ वो कर रहा है, ये वो कर रहा है. जब ये ट्यूशन की बात हो रही थी, it is a very, when you get into details, what is tuition? अगर मैं अपने बच्चे को घर में पढ़ा रहा हूँ शाम को, वो ट्यूशन है या नहीं है? अगर एक टीचर बिना पैसे लिए हुए अपने मन से अपने गांव के बच्चे को पढ़ाता है उनके घर जाके, पैसे नहीं लेता है, वो ट्यूशन हुआ या नहीं हुआ? How do you then know that some money transaction has taken place? कोई रसीद तो मिलती नहीं है. तो अगर एक टीचर ने जाके किसी 3 बच्चों को जाके 5 बजे के बाद उनके साथ 1 घंटा मैथ करता रहा, तो उसको ट्यूशन मानेंगे या क्या मानेंगे? These are problems. How do you legally prove that that teacher was doing tuitions for payment of money and not spending time with the child without any monetary transaction? This is why it had to be said in the Sarda that there may be, for example, when you say that there will be comprehensive and continuous evaluation, which the bill says, there will be no examinations, but there will be CCS. उस CCS के तहत अगर एक टीचर को प्रिंसिपल कहता है ये 2 बच्चों को मैथ्स में थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, तुम इन 2 बच्चों को ज़रा स्कूल के बाद थोड़ा टाइम दे देना, अगर कोई उसको कहता है करने को, then that will not constitute tuition. That be allowed. Migration. I mean, क्या करें migration का? It's a very, very big segment. It's an enormously big segment of population, not just construction labor, but all kind of labor. Now, what do you do? One of the things we had tried was to say that the children would stay in a school at the permanent residence of the family and in a kind of a hostel school for which the state would pay. But then you are legally saying that the children will be separated from their parents. And people said, how can you do that? On the other hand, you can say कि बच्चा वहाँ स्कूल में पढ़ रहा था, जहाँ जाएंगे वहाँ भी स्कूल में पढ़ना होगा क्योंकि कोई बच्चा बाहर नहीं रह सकता है. To facilitate that, there is a clause in this say that transfer certificate will not stop giving admission to a child. उसमें सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत migratory children को होती है transfer certificate. Transfer certificate स्कूल नहीं दे सकता है, हेडमास्टर नहीं दे सकता है, वो ब्लॉक एजुकेशन ऑफिस या डिस्ट्रिक्ट एजुकेशन ऑफिस से आती है. It can take up to 3 months and bribe to get a transfer certificate. So what the law says is that no school will deny admission for lack of transfer certificate. So the migration is a very weak thing. This transfer certificate is the only thing which may help migratory children, along with the compulsion. No way can a child now go to a construction site, be between 6 to 14 years and not be in school, because that's a compulsion. And that to be aided by transfer certificate.